Hello guys and welcome back to our channel. This week we're gonna learn how to make sourdough bread from scratch. So first what you need is a sourdough starter. If you like to know how to make a sourdough starter, I just put you my video here where you can learn. In this video we're gonna see how to make sourdough starter from feeding your dough to mixing your flours with your different flavors. For example, I offer multigrain, sourdough, garlic, and herb. To incorporate the sourdough following by the folding process. The first rising, the shaping, the second rising to the cooking, and to having the final sourdough bread that everybody loves. So let's start with feeding the starter. So the night before, feed my sourdough. So in the morning when I wake up, the sourdough is activated and I can start making my bread. So actually I have a lot of bread to do. I am so happy that we're getting to get orders and people are getting to love the sourdough bread. So I'm going to use 3 different pots with 3 different sourdough. But if you want to make one bread, only one sourdough starter is enough. So what I usually do, I use a scale. So I have the right amount of flour and water. So it's supposed to be same amount of flour and same amount of water. So first what we can do to make our dough very active, it's remove a little bit of the starter. And then I use a mix of whole wheat flour and first class flour. So I'm going to put 25 grams of whole wheat flour, 25 grams of first class flour, and 50 grams of room temperature water. And then you just mix until the flour, the water are well combined. And you close. And then you wait for the next morning. Good morning, everyone. So today we can start our sourdough bread making. The first step will be to mix flour and water together. In my recipe, I use 700 grams of flour, depending if it's a wheat or a white bread. So for white bread, 700 grams of first class. And for wheat bread, it's 420 grams of white flour and 280 grams of wheat flour. For this order, I have one plain wheat, just right here.
And we're gonna add 539 grams of water.
And then we're gonna mix. Then we're gonna set aside for 1 hour before to add the sourdough starter. For this recipe, it's a garlic and herbs version. So I already added my herbs. I put basil, parsley, and rosemary, and fried garlic. This is 100% white flour, so I put a little bit less of water. It's 525 grams of water. Okay, and then we're gonna mix and combine together and also set aside for 1 hour and send process with the other dough. And then I'll see you in 1 hour. We are back at it. It's been 1 hour. Now we're gonna add our activated starter. We're gonna add 2% of salt, 14 grams, and 20% of the starter. So I'm gonna add 140 grams. And from there, you're just gonna fold the dough on itself several times until you see that the starter is well incorporated, but don't fold too much because we're gonna repeat this process 4 times every 30 minutes in the next step. And the starter is actually adding more water inside, so your dough is even more sticky. So we are done with that. We're gonna set on the side and continue the same process with the 2 other dough. Actually, I'm making 6 different bread here. So I have one bread which is with sourdough, garlic, and herbs. One bread which is white sourdough garlic and herbs, and one bread which is sourdough wheat. I am so happy I got all these orders. So I need to fulfill it. Okay, so you leave this three dough on the side for 30 minutes. When you're done, and actually when you're done putting your sourdough starter into your bread, you can straight feed your starter again. So okay, so it's been 30 minutes, so we're gonna fold the dough for a second time. I can feel the texture is changing. Slowly the sourdough starter is incorporating in the dough, and the dough is getting fluffier. And then the last one. And then let's do it again in 30 minutes. Look at the dough. We can see it's starting to grow. Getting really fluffy now. After that, we're gonna need just to fold another time. All right. Our last fold. Now the texture is much better. Okay, so after this step, we're gonna let the dough grow until it doubles in size. So it's about 4, 5, 6 hours. Let's see how long it's gonna take. Just cover it and forget it. Just do your life.
After more or less 4 hours, your dough has doubled in size. So now you can cut your dough in two. Remember, our recipe is good for two bread. And then you're going to start stretching your dough this way. And then don't hesitate. If the dough is getting too sticky, you can use a little bit of water in your fingers so it's not gonna stick anymore. And then roll the dough this way and then the other way. And then you're gonna set your dough aside, cover it, and wait for another 30 minutes. So we're gonna get ready for the second step. So you get your rising dish, so it can be like Banneton dish, like that with a cloth on the top, or just a single bowl like this. You put a cloth on the top and you put flour. It is very, very important to add flour so your dough is not gonna stick.
So as you can see here, the dough has already started to rise. So now we're going to take one by one each dough and do the final shaping. Alright, we're going to do the final shaping. And usually I add some seeds on the top of my bread. So first I'm going to prepare a plate with some seeds and I'm going to grate one by one my dough. I use flax seeds or sesame seeds sometimes, it depends. As usual, flour, and then you boil with some water. Same process as earlier. Fold your dough, roll one time and a second time. And I'm just gonna roll the dough on the seeds, and here you go. And then you're gonna put your dough upside down like this. It's a bit sticky. And then to make sure it's not gonna stick on the side, we're gonna add flour all around. Because it's gonna grow, right? So just like that, and then you're just gonna cover it. And then we continue the same process with all our breads.
Look at that. It's not even been 2 hours and the dough has already rise a lot. The dough is ready. So now we're gonna turn on the oven and we're gonna start cooking the bread. So now the oven is hot, so I'm gonna put the Dutch oven inside so it can get warm also. And my cast iron pan where I'm gonna cook the other bread. Unfortunately, I only have one Dutch oven. And we're gonna look for about 210 to 220 degrees. So now we actually gonna start to cook the first bread. You take your baking paper and then you fold your bread upside down like this one. Okay, look at that. And then we're gonna just cut to give a way for the bread to grow during its cooking. Okay, cut it in our cast iron. And then second bread gonna be here. All right, same process. Up. And give a nice scarf inside the Dutch oven. Close the Dutch oven and add in the oven, which is very, 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 very hot. And from now, we're gonna count 20 minutes. As it's a charcoal oven, from time to time, I check the temperature. I think I know why the bread was not growing the other day because the temperature was not high enough. But I think this one is gonna be good. So I just wanted to let you know that we don't have electricity, so that's why I need to wear a flashlight when I'm cooking. And then we're gonna have the reveal of the bread. Wow, it looks really nice. I am so happy. And the oven is hot. I mean, look at that. Wow. It's really nice. So what is really important when you remove your bread, look at that, from the oven, is that you're gonna let it breathe, so there is no humidity going in. So the batter is like a grill, a special grill for that. I mean, you can use this kind of grill, right? You put the bread just on the top, but I need to use that. I'm just gonna put my two spatula like that and put the bread here. All right. Look at that. 3 more bread cooked. All right, I'm gonna finish to cook on my bread and I'm gonna show you the result at the end. So here we have our sourdough breads. And then more of cooking on the oven. I still have one sourdough and then I make also 2 regular bread with dry yeast. So I have few more hours in the kitchen to finish to bake these breads. I hope you enjoyed the vlog of today and that you're gonna try to make your own sourdough bread. And thank you very much for watching. Until next time, keep baking homemade.